Expressium TV. Tell your story with impact. The federal government has been called upon to put in place legislation banning the importation and use of ships coated with antifouling agents in marine ecosystem in order to minimize the level of organism pollution. A professor of industrial chemistry gave the advice while delivering his inaugural lecture at the University of Unilorin, where he also called for adequate control measures to ensure compliance with national and international regulations on the protection of water systems. It was the 290th series of the inaugural lecture of University of Unilorin, and the lecturer was Professor Hussein Kehinde Okoro. With the topic leveraging the expertise of chemists in environmental management, a focus on analytical, environmental, and material flows, the lecturer described pollution as a major global issue for both developed and developing economies and is increasing gradually with impact on living organisms.
The condition has worsened in recent times. Various authorities have postulated several control measures to combat water pollution. It is therefore very pertinent we prevent pollution rather than treating symptoms of pollution. Past experience has shown that remedial action to clip on polluted sites and water bodies are generally much more expensive than apply measures to prevent pollution from occurring. It is in our good interest to manage our environment and nurture it. It is also necessary we identify the presence of pollutants and good substances that we can use as a control measure, as is reflected in this lecture, leveraging the expertise of chemists in environmental management, a focus on analytical, environmental, and material fix.
He established that the sources of bad substances in the environment are not limited to industrialization, urbanization, agriculture, oil, and soil pollution alone, but it's necessary to know that disrupting the harmony of the environment by improper waste disposal should be stopped. In order to stem the tide, the professor of industrial chemistry called on the federal government to put into place legislation banning the importation and use of ships coated with antifouling agents in marine ecosystem, among other recommendations.
The federal government agencies such as National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency, NESRA, National Water Research Institute, Federal Ministry of Environment to set up the regular monitoring of these endocrine disrupting chemicals and other potential toxic chemicals present within our surface, marine, and groundwater bodies of our dear nation. Nigeria government will provide state-of-the-art facility in our universities to avoid eradication of this type of subjects in our tertiary institutions owing to lack of facilities. The federal government will make the law flexible to allow researchers to place orders for their chemical when they need for research and charge relevant organizations such as the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, Institute of Chartered Chemists of Nigeria to champion this cause.
It is not only the federal government that was advised, but also states and other parastatals.
State government, through the Ministry of Environment, need to put in place adequate control measures in order to ensure compliance with national and international regulations on the protection of our water system. There's also a need for adequate surface groundwater and marine water and sediment quality guidelines for Nigeria as a nation. The university management should also support the graduate and undergraduate students through the provision of university research fund as it's applied in other climes such as South Africa, India, and European countries.
The auditorium hall of the University of Unilorin was filled with family, friends, and colleagues, as well as well-wishers, especially the wife and children of the lecturer.